I get asked all the time, what is a vigilante? What does it mean to be a vigilante? And so to explain that, I'm just going to kind of explain where the vigilantes came from. When I started the group, I honestly thought there was going to be like 10 or 20 people who really like the scrap that would want to be a part of the behind the scenes, helping pick out the guests and make the questions. And I never dreamed that the vigilantes would grow into what it has grown into. Over 700 like-minded souls. If you're a vigilante, you are never alone. We have members from across the country. We have members from across the globe. And it's just amazing what it's become. If you're in there, then you get to be in the Discord. And the Discord is where we do all of our discussions. And people go live and they talk and they ask questions. And we have a channel for bitching and moaning, for presenting classes. It's amazing the fellowship that is involved in being a vigilante. And it's not just that, there's so many other benefits. You get access to the vigilante only swag shop. You get the 15% discount on all merch from Firehouse Vigilance. You get the after parties. You get the vigilante get-togethers when we're all at the same place and we get together and we raise a glass and do a toast and have the vigilante creed. You get the vigilante coin when you hit your 1-year anniversary with your number. The fireaways, the forums, the archives, all of the Corley projects that are coming that you get to be a part of and get to be behind the scenes on. It's grown into something bigger than I ever imagined. And I want people to know about it. I want people to be a part of it. If you're not a vigilante, why not? I don't know how big it could be. I don't know. I mean, the vigilantes are where the work is at. They're the ones who are getting stuff done. And it's phenomenal to be a part of it. I wanted to get on here and explain where it started, how it came to be, and ask you, if you're not a vigilante, why not? Go to patreon.com/thevigilantes. That's where you sign up. It is $5 a month. I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee for that anymore. $5 a month and you get to be a part of this unbelievable group. Go to patreon.com, sign up, become a vigilante, and I will see you on the Discord.
In the demanding world of firefighting, training against real-world scenarios is crucial. Yet traditional training facilities often fall short in providing realistic, versatile, and cost-effective training solutions. Affordable Drill Towers presents a groundbreaking solution. By positioning an affordable drill tower alongside your existing Connex boxes burn buildings, a realm of realistic, multi-level training scenarios is unlocked. This integration has been adopted successfully by various fire departments, enhancing their training capabilities exponentially. Delve into the heart of live fire training scenarios within the Connex boxes, now amplified by the ADT's multi-floor access, providing an unparalleled training ground.
We started looking at Connex boxes about probably 10 years ago. To me, you can't beat them, especially for the price. The Affordable Drill Tower was the same way. We've got 6 floors, we've got standpipes on every floor, we've got more anchor points than you can count, we've got removable floors, removable stairs. We can go into the 2nd and 3rd floor off the drill tower, so whether you want us to use it as an external stairwell or a high-rise, we can do all that and mimic just about any type of situation that the members of the fire department might encounter.
Experience cost-effectiveness, enhanced realistic training, versatile operations, easy multi-floor access, and innovative solutions to age-old training challenges. Take your fire department's training to the next level with Affordable Drill Towers. Reach out to Affordable Drill Towers to elevate your training capabilities today.
Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance. It is weekly scrap number 317. My guest tonight is Sean Gray. He currently holds the rank of captain with Cobb County Fire Department in Metro Atlanta and has been in the fire service since 1993. Initially, he started his career in Southern California, relocated to Georgia in 99. He has co-authored a book titled The Evolving Fireground, which is getting ready to have a 2nd edition come out. He has been published Fire Engineering, Firehouse, Fire Rescue. He's an FDIC hot lead instructor, classroom instructor. He's got the education, the paper. We're going to talk about it. He has the street cred. It has been a scrap that has needed to happen for a long, long time. In fact, it's been probably 3 or 4 years in the making, and I'm happy to finally say welcome to the scrap for episode number 317. My brother, Sean Gray.
Thanks, man. I'm pumped, man. Super excited to be here. And I'm sad that I'm 317, but, it took 316 before it got to me. But no, I've already been catching crap about that. Like, what's taking it this so long? But we actually met back in Florida, and you were like, come on, man, let's go on the scrap. And then it just never happened, dude. So it's been a couple of years. But, yeah, I'm pumped. Thanks for having me.
Anything I missed in the intro? Anything you would like to add?
No, hit it, started my fire service career in 1993 in Southern California, and pretty much just relocated to Atlanta, met a girl, followed her out here. That girl went back to California, and I met my wife and had my two lovely children here. And, since, of course, typical fire service, things get working and, divorces go on and that kind of stuff. So I'm divorced and remarried to my lovely wife, Amy West, who's also in the fire service and is a chief up in Canada. And so that's kind of a new chapter for me. And that's it, man. I got my kids are growing and are men. And so I'm just hanging out and just plugging away. Got 2 years left to retirement.
Oh, wow. So you have it's on the horizon. It's coming.
It's on the horizon, man. It's getting there.
Absolutely love it. Audience, get your questions primed and ready. Sean is been primed and ready to field those questions, and we'll get to them. Let's talk about, of course, those beautiful sponsors. It is I'll do the sponsors, then I'm going to talk about Rhodes Pay It Forward. So when it comes to building your perfect attack package, you can't just slap any nozzle on any hose and hope for the best. That's a recipe for failure. At Snap Tight Hose, they are not just trying to sell you hose. They are there to make sure you get the right hose paired with the right nozzle for your crew and conditions. Their team of experienced reps knows their stuff inside and out, and they are ready to help. No ego, no judgment, because knowledge is power. And at Snap Tight Hose, they bring both. Visit snaptighthose.com to connect with a rep and start building your ideal hose and nozzle package today. Affordable Drill Towers, on a mission to bring you cost-effective and versatile training props like the Affordable Bailout Prop, which allows you to practice window bailouts, ladder bailouts, and ladder high-point rescues. Then they make the Affordable Standpipe Prop, which you can roll into the classroom for standpipe theory and then roll it into the parking lot and pump realistic flows and pressures. And, of course, their mainstay, the Affordable Drill Tower. It comes in several configurations and standard with the standpipe system. You can choose from 1, 2 sets of stairs integrated into your existing Connex boxes for multi-story access or freestanding on a slab. All models NFPA 1402 compliant and gain you ISO credit. The only thing that you can't do on an Affordable Drill Tower is live fire training. Call Steve, 844-55-TOWER, or drop an email to info@affordabledrilltowers.com. Firefighter safety and accountability starts with being able to quickly find and identify individual firefighters operating on the fireground. Identifier safety combines the best in photoluminescent materials for durable firefighter identification that can glow for up to 20 hours. No switches, no batteries, which means being able to rapidly identify firefighters by name, unit, or assignment, even under hot fire conditions. All specifically designed and tested for the rigors of the job. Be seen, on scene, identifiersafety.com. And I like to do stuff that's not just sponsors. This is something that's it's the Fire in the Sky conference. It's coming up down there in the Houston area. It's just a couple of weeks away. It's almost here, September 16th and the 18th. So 2 weeks away, and you can still register. It's got John Norman, Dave McGrail, Jimmy Davis, Eric Att, Mike Galliano, Heller, Bloom, Dayer, Murphy. Our day's going to be. It's a killer lineup. If you love the job, you do not want to miss it. So use the QR code or go to aircoalition.org and sign up today. So there's the sponsors and the shout out I wanted to give. And then Sean Gray made some, I should say, Sean, you and Chief Rhodes made this happen. I don't know exactly the catalyst and the cause, but it's the Rhodes Pay It Forward. And it's the first one of the year, correct?
Yeah, man. So people right now, you're starting to see on social media, right? Like everybody's getting pumped up, announcing, hey, FDIC 2026. Thank you so much for, allowing me to come back and speak there. And so we made it happen for tonight, right? So it's kind of special. Like everybody, all of us, when you apply to put in for FDIC as an instructor, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, you've been there, Corley, right? I mean, it's a painstaking moment, right? It goes in June, and from June until like August, like you're kind of on the edge. Like,
August, yeah.
Am I going to get in? Am I not going to get in? And it's like, man, every year I'm like, this is probably going to be the year, man. I'm going to get denied. Like, set yourself up for it, and so the letter started to come out. So like last week, I got my letter that I got approved for attack from the Burnside, year number 15 for FDIC 2026.
Congrats, man.
Pretty
15 years. That's killer.
about that. Yeah, man, 15 years. And I'm honored and blessed to be able to do that, 15 years in a row. But more importantly, we're going to be doing a hands-on class again for our 10th year in a row. And it's going to be called the Evolving Fireground Search and Fire Attack. And so when those letters start to come out, because this is the perfect timing of everybody starting to get their submissions in and getting their classes, I hit up Rhodes and said, hey, man, any way that we can give a pay it forward out? And he's like, yep, first one of the year, make it happen. So, yeah, so tonight we're giving out the first pay it forward of the year, Rhodes Pay It Forward, FDIC, a free conference pass going to FDIC 2026. So now we need your help. Tell them how to do it, Corley.
Hey, it's simple. Nominate somebody and write an email for why they should receive the first pay it forward of the year. David Rhodes, pay it forward of the first one for FDIC 2026. Just an email with the name and why they should receive it. It can be yourself, it can be someone else, but then let us know, because I've got a group of vigilantes who are ready to pour through those submissions and look them over and then pick one to be the winner. And we're going to announce the winner on October 7th on Anthony Castro's scrap on that night. We're going to announce who wins the pay it forward. So get them in, and the way to get them in is to email it to theweeklyscrap@gmail.com. theweeklyscrap@gmail.com, and get them in by September 11th. After September 11th, we're cutting it off and let the vigilantes pick who's going to be the winner. So is that clear? Was that clear as mud? All right, Sean. We got all this, all the sponsors are out the way. The giveaway's announced. Get your submissions in by September 11th, and now we get to the scrap. And man, dude, I do not even know where to begin.
Okay,
because you have been involved in a lot of stuff in the fire service for a while.
Yeah, so I'll just tell you my story, man. Where it all started, man. Listen, probably not like most people that'll listen tonight. I was a guy who was in the fire service, engaged, working 2 jobs, working as paramedic on the ambulance, worked as paramedic on the helicopter, part-time gigs, as we all do, right? Work in the fire department. I was just kind of like plugging away, married, starting to have small children. And, man, I had that fire. I had that fire that changes us, right? And so I have that fire. I'm a firefighter riding backwards. I got a rookie riding with me. It's his very first fire. He's a police officer that's transferred over from the police department to the fire department, right? So
right on.
We pull up, we stretch the line. Looks like the fire's in the rear of the house, and it's ripping. Like, I'm thinking, like, my first fire was this piece of crap freaking fire, like, like a trash can fire or something. And I'm thinking, like, this dude's got a freaking ripper, right? Like, hell yeah, good for him, right? So we get to the front door and open the front door up. It is chugging out the front door. And I was like, whew, man, like, I was getting pumped, right? Excited, like, again, thinking in my head, like, I can't believe that this guy's got this fire for this is his very first fire. Like, how cool is this? So our officer does a 360 and comes around, and I'm like, kind of like, hey, where you want the line? And I'm working for the officer that sucks, man. Terrible officer, right? Doesn't have their turnout coat on, doesn't have their CBA on. They're just wearing their pants, holding the radio in their hand. Just, they're not coming in with us. So basically, I'm now, as a senior firefighter, I'm the officer, right, that's going to lead this guy in. And we're going into a pretty serious fire. So as we start to make our way in, we get in maybe 5-6 feet, and it's hot. It's bad, and real bad. Lights out. We're on the floor trying to make it so can't even see a glow, can't see anything. It's lights out. And so my ego tells me, hey, we got to push in a little bit further. We're just not quite there. So I'm like telling him, keep going, keep crawling in. By this time, dude, it's getting hot. Like, my ears are burning. I'm thinking that I didn't pull my flaps down and the whole thing. Like, things are getting really bad. And I honestly just had a bad feeling in my stomach, man. Like, shit, I don't have an officer in here with me. I don't have anybody here to lead me. I'm in here making decisions with this rookie whose first fire it is. And I don't like the scenario, and it hurt my ego a little bit, but I'm like, hey man, it's time to go. Like, let's go. We were flowing water. It wasn't doing shit. Nothing was converting. Nothing was happening. We weren't making the fire. I never saw a glow. So, all right, let's go. Time to go. So we bail. We come out the front door. We bring the nozzle with us, of course, for whatever reason. Like, I remember thinking, like, hey, just turn around. Let's go. We go back out the front door. And as the seconds that we step out the front door, all the gases, everything, lights off.
Woo.
Melts the back of my coat, melts the back of my helmet. And I was like, whew, man, this is a close one, right?
Yeah.
And so battalion chief's there now, and he's like, hey, fire tech 1, stretch the line to the rear. So we stretch the line to the rear.
Did you basically beat it out before it flashed? Is that basically
like that? It was like that close, right? You know, and like I didn't know, man. Like I didn't know.
Right.
And of course, before we're getting the line set up, you know, I didn't know shit about flow path and fire dynamics. I didn't know any of that crap. Chalk the door wide open like we'd always been taught, you know, so it's chugging, you go waiting for the line to get charged. I mean, we're bringing it to us, right? So, yeah, so take the line around the rear. The whole back of the house is on fire and it's ripping. And so we get back to the firehouse after the fire, and I started asking questions. I was like, hey, so why did we go in the front door exactly? Because the fire was on the back of the house. It was a deck fire, burned its way into the house. Like, how come we just didn't go around there and put the water on? And the officer's like, and you got attacked from the unburned side. I've been reading John Norman's book, and that's what we study. And yeah, you got to go from the unburned side. So yeah, I mean, that's why we did that. And I was like, that's just not good enough for me, man. And I started to get like a little upset, a little emotional. And the guy that's sitting over here next to me, my 20-year-old now, he was a baby at the time. And that little guy started to change my mind a little bit on the way that I thought. I was not that tough firefighter anymore that like was willing to just go do everything that I wanted. Like, hey, I got kids I got to go home to now, right? So it started to change my mindset a little bit, and I just started digging into the research, man. That's where I started to find. I found Dan Mazurkowski's name and NIST, and I got just inundated in it. I mean, obsessed with researching and learning about fire, because that fire, honestly, it scared the shit out of me, and it scared the shit out of me to where the point I was like, I've got to be better. Like, I suck at my job right now. Like, I need to do better. And so fortunately I had some guys from my department, some mentors of mine, guys like Tom Hancock, and he's a battalion chief with us. He was the very first person in Cobb County to teach at FDIC. And we've been doing some stuff together training wise. And he's like, hey, why don't you come up? So we piled into FDIC like a bunch of frat brothers and slept in a hotel room on the floor, and, you know, and just did our thing. And that very first year of FDIC, man, it changed my life, changed my career, changed my life. I was like, how do I get up here? Because I just spent $1,000 to come up here out of my own pocket. I got small children. I can't do that every year. He's like, oh man, it's easy. Just fill out an application and, and come and teach up there. So, all right. So I created a class and I figured it out. But honestly, like, I told the story last year at FDIC with the unfortunate death of Bill Gustin. And Bill he had come to our department and spoke, and we invited him to our firehouse for dinner. And at the dinner table, that fire comes up, and one of the guys at the table are like, oh man, tell him about the fire you had. Cause Bill's like, man, I've been doing research on Cobb County, and you guys have a lot of fires that start on the outside. You guys have a lot of deck fires. And I'm like, yeah, and one of the guys are like, hey, tell him about your fire, Sean. So I kind of tell him the same story I did. And he's like, you need to write an article for fire engineering about that. I'm like, dude, I'm a driver in Cobb County. What the hell do I know about freaking writing an article? Right. And he's like, oh, you need to write an article. And he's like, so we exchange email addresses. And that joker, no lie, he emailed me a week later and said, do you have the rough draft yet? I was like, oh shit, this old guy's
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So, yeah, man. So that's how it all happened. It was all because of Bill Gustin. And so I wrote an article and then applied for FDIC, and the article got accepted. And next thing you know, I'm teaching a class called Attack from the Burnside. And the very first year, the title was too controversial. Bobby Halton changed the name of the class to Exterior Fires, the Basics.
Okay.
I can send you. I still have it. 2011, Exterior Fires, the Basics. And
awesome.
So like the next year I had like 3 people in my class the first year, and so the next year I changed the title. I emailed Bobby. I was like, hey, I really want to change the title to Attack from the Burnside, and I'm kind of trying to challenge some narratives and things. And he was like, I'm not sure if the fire service is ready for that yet. He gave me all this stuff, like political stuff. And next thing you know, like I got it the next year, and class got bigger and bigger and bigger. And man, that's where the story started. Like, honestly, that's where at FDIC, that's where Steve Kerber came to my class and sat in the class. I had no idea that he was sitting in the crowd, right? And then I go into the instructor room afterwards, and he's like, hey, that's a pretty good class. You want to be part of a technical panel on fires that start on the outside and go into the attics? I was like, sure.
Yes, I do.
Never turned down an opportunity, right? So, yeah, man. So that's kind of where the story started is I'm on that technical panel and I go and meet. And if you've ever been on
real quick, John, because you reminded me of something while you were saying the story. You reminded me, I wanted to mention this about the pay it forward and getting your name in for the FDIC giveaway. It is a pass, but you do have to get to Indianapolis. You do have to get some lodging, whether you bunk out with some frat boys or get a van or an Airbnb, whatever you got to do. You need to get your own lodging and transportation. So I wanted to, you made me think of that while you were telling the story. So I wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, but you know what? Whoever the winner is, if you don't got a place to stay, call me. I'll make it happen. We'll find you a place. All right. I can't get you there, but I'll find you a place to stay. So it might be.
To make sure that we're clear. It wasn't, that stuff's not included. So I didn't want to.
Yeah. So yeah, we're not like, we're not like a game show here, but
right.
We can't give it
all inclusive, baby.
Yeah. So anyways, man, so that's kind of how it all started. And I got invited by Kerber to be on this technical panel. And, I go there, very intimidating place. That's where I meet PJ Norwood, and that whole relationship, how that all started is that we were kind of like the two little nobodies sitting off in the corner. And there's like all these legends like Pete Van Dorp and Derek Alconas and John Cirillo and George Healy and Bobby Halton and all these people. Right. And I'm like, holy shit, this is a super intimidating room. And we sit down at the table and we start having conversations. And I guess I just started speaking up and saying the right things. Cause next thing you know, I get an email and they're like, hey, you're invited to go to this thing in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I'm like, what's in Jackson Hole, Wyoming? I didn't know we were doing burns for this project in Jackson, Wyoming. And we get there and I show up, I text PJ and I'm like, hey man, what's with this action? He's like, I didn't get that email, bro. I'm not on that email. So I look and I was like, oh shit, it's Sean Gray and all of these legends. Like, what the hell am I doing on this email? So, so go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and Steve Kerber, the very first day that we meet up, he's like, this is the creation of the Firefighter Safety Research Institute Advisory Board. I need you guys and your experience to guide me on exactly what we're doing. And at that time, it was Steve Kerber was employee number 1, and he had hired this other guy named Robin Zavotek as a research engineer. And he had a girl named Julie who was kind of running some of the training stuff off to the side. So that was it. It was like a very small group of people, and Kerber was just trying to make this thing happen. And so that's how it all got developed off of that advisory board. And then from there, every project from there, like the advisory board basically would be like, okay, what do we need to test? And we were like, well, we've done ventilation, we've done exterior fires. Hey, we need to do fire attack.
Right on.
And so the fire attack study, this is where transitional attack came, right? This is where slicers came and all of the controversy, right? So bunch of maybe the young guys in the crowd are thinking like, I don't know what the hell a slicer is and transitional attack, but really what it was is it was very controversial, right? So UL fire attack study was put out, and as we were doing some of these research studies, we were building one of the props, and I was standing next to Steve Kerber, and I'm like, man, what do you want to get out of all this? Like, I'm just kind of like picking his brain. He's like, you know what? I really just want the fire service to stop believing and start knowing. And Steve Kerber is the one that actually said that to me for the first time.
That's the germ of where it came from.
That was it. And I'm like, can I steal that? He's like, sure. And I was like, yeah. So then I was like, that's amazing. So I just started thinking about that and was like, you know what? I'm going to start a Facebook page. And I asked PJ, I'm like, hey man, you want to start a Facebook page? I was like, I'm thinking like videos, and we just kind of like start challenging the narrative and using research-based tactics and taking all these things we're learning from UL and Steve Kerber and Dan Majkowski and putting it out there and trying to translate it for the fire service, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm in. So, man, we started doing it. And next thing you know, it got crazy. Like there's memes and Hifty memes and all kinds of stuff about me, right? Like, oh, Sean Gray only fights fire from the outside and all this stuff, right? So, so it got crazy. And, some of the people that are out there, some of the haters that were Sean Gray haters in the past, I literally don't know most of them. Things I've heard from rumors and stuff from people. It's like, dude, I've never even met that guy. Why does that guy not like me? And he might not like me because one of the big people that were on the UL fire attack study, I challenged those people straight up. Like when we did the UL fire attack study, there were every name you can think of: Ray McCormick, Kurt Isaacson, Nick Martin, Sam Hiddle. Dude, the list goes on, right? A bunch of just super involved, like really hardcore dudes that were on the fire service that all bring this amazing set of just expertise right to the room. But we started challenging them to kind of think outside the box. So like in that first UL fire attack study meeting, everybody's talking about stretching lines, how we get water in the front door. And, and they didn't realize that what that research study was about the water when it leaves the nozzle and how it affects the fire environment. It was about the fire dynamics side of it and what it does. It wasn't about stretching lines. It wasn't about how fast you can do things and what nozzle you're using. It was really about how the water leaves that. I mean, there was something about the nozzles. Yeah, we tested fog versus smoothbore and that kind of thing, but it really was about what the water does to affect the fire environment. And that's the amazing part that comes into all of it. And if you look at a lot of that research early on, all of those guys in the beginning that were kind of challenging the research and kind of raising the bullshit flags, those guys are all on board now. You know,
Right.
ask Ray, ask Kurt, like they'll tell you, like that was their story. They were against it in the beginning, right? And then once Kerber kind of showed them and they learned the science just like I did, it was like, oh dude, this is a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't I use the research, combine it with my experience, and now I can be so much smarter, better, more aggressive, right? There's chiefs probably sitting online tonight. They're going to say, oh God, he just said that word aggressive. Hey man, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I believe that 100%. If you combine the research with your experience and make it work for your department, you can be more aggressive and better on the fire ground.
I love it. I love that. You ready for questions from the audience? That is what it is built on.
I'll be fired up, bro.
I like it. Well, speaking of hate online and things like that, Rick Bergen has a question for you. He says, Sean, thank you for the videos with the Palmer's Dollhouse. If you were to do those videos again, is there anything you would do differently or focus on?
Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. I'm the guy. I'm the Dollhouse guy, right? So that's like the perfect lead up. That was part of our setup, was we were going to talk about that. So yeah, so the Dollhouse guy, right? The story on that is same thing. Advisory board. Meet a guy. He's like, oh, they burn these things over in Sweden, and we should do these things. He's like, I got some build plans from Sweden. So we take these build plans. I look at them. I'm like, oh, you know, there's this 4 compartment box. Maybe we can add it. And then next thing you know, it gets an attic added to it by a guy named Matt Palmer in Connecticut. And so that's why it's called the Palmer's Dollhouse. So PJ and I start burning these things. We burned our first one at MAFC, Metro Atlanta Firefighter Conference. The very first year we did a hands-on class, we burned a dollhouse. From there, it went insane. PJ Norwood started making videos. Now they've been burned in like all 50 states and like 30 countries around the world. Right. It's insane. So my ex-father-in-law, he and God rest his soul, he actually made the original build plans on Google Sketch. So he's dead. Oh. If you guys want to beat him up, he's dead now. But he made those original build plans on Google Sketch. And so if I had to go back, like we really didn't know what we were doing, man. Like I didn't know how to make a Google Sketch thing. And fortunately, Bops was the one who like made that Google Sketch, right? And like put it up there. And I'm sitting here, his grandson's sitting here next to me hearing this, right? Is like, he just made this thing up. It's like, well, maybe I can put this plan together. He was an engineer and made it all happen. If he could see today how much impact his build plans have had on the American Fire Service, it's crazy, you know? And like, you know, people are like, how come we never sold those things? It's always been for free for us, right? Like we're always wanted to give it away and make it better for somebody else. And so, yeah, it's not about that. Like, yeah, sure, I could have sold them, but that's not about that. I want to give it for free. So I actually had to build a web page, stopbelieving.startknowing.com, which is no longer existent because we're changing and developing. That's where my story is going, is how could we make it better? We've made it better because we just turned over everything to UL. And so this last year we went and we filmed all brand new stuff for the Dollhouses. So and UL with their like state of the art filming crew. There's going to be all brand new build plans. They have 3D sketching. They have crazy cameras they filmed everything with. There's a build video that's going to go with it. My buddy Mike Beekman from Cobb County Fire is a captain with us. He actually came and we built one together, and he describes every piece by piece to get it to go together, because we know that a lot of people don't have that construction skill set, right? So people look at these plans and like, what the hell? How am I going to build this thing? So we made a step-by-step video, and that'll be released in the end of October from FSRI and on the Fire Safety Academy. You'll be able to find it. So it's all free. Fire Safety Academy. You'll see, just follow all the social media stuff for FSRI, or follow our Evolving Fireground social medias, and you'll be able to see it.
Love it. Next one's coming at you from Cody Brooks. He's here. I'm here in Florida with Cody Brooks. I should say it that way.
We talked about him earlier.
Yeah. Squid is asking the question, what is the biggest misconception firemen have about fire dynamics? i.e., what is the most common question or misconception you keep running up against?
You know, actually, it just came up today. I'm going to mention it. My son's sitting right here. So he was texting me today about an instructor that was talking to him, right? And this guy's, you know, legit, like knows this stuff or whatever, right? But he said this thing. He's like, the best thing that'll ever happen to you inside of a fire is when you have this snot slinging fire and somebody cuts a hole over top of your head, and then suddenly you can see, right? And we've all been there, like in that moment, right? I've been on the nozzle, right? And a guy takes the roof, and you're like, oh my God, this is a life-changing moment for me. And up until the coordinated attack study, the strip mall part of it, when we go back and look at that, I was fooled as well, straight up fooled. So just when you're thinking about smoke coming out of a door and you have a bidirectional flow path, right? And then we take the roof and we see that lift at the front door, right?
Right.
That lift is not actually a lift. It's not. That lift is a reversal of the flow path. You're now, because you've taken that roof, you've given the fire more air, so it's gaining more energy, and it is sucking in the entire doorway, so the smoke can't come out anymore. It's a full intake, and then we've created the outlet above, and we get that lift because we basically created a chimney outside of the roof, right? Now, if the timing works out and we get water on the fire and everything gets good, then we're good. But if it doesn't, we burn the roof off of the place. And so that's where it's all about timing and coordination. And I think that's right. Our experience, our eyes tell us one story, right? But we don't really understand the fire dynamic side of it when we're in the thick of it, right? It's just we see things happen. We're like, oh, that was awesome. The roof just made it a lot better. Oh, it got cooler, right? It got cooler behind me. Like we felt that. Yeah, because it's sucking in that cool air from the outside. And it's actually feeding the fire ahead of us. But if you're a jam up host crew and you get water on the fire, and then everything's good.
No, I love it. Luke Stevenson, along with what you're talking about there. So I like this question. It's coming at you from down under, actually from the future, technically.
Oh.
But Luke Stevenson wants to know, what are your thoughts on trusting your gut versus relying on SOPs, especially when they contradict each other?
Man, that's a tough one. So I would just tell you, in Cobb County, Georgia, that's one thing that we've kind of tried to stay away from, right, is SOPs on the fireground, because SOPs will handcuff you. And it's very difficult. Fires are so variable. Things change constantly. So to do something dogmatic of we're going to do this every single time on a fire, that just doesn't seem to work. So really, honestly, using your gut, using your experience, sizing up the fire, reading the smoke, telling yourself with the fire dynamics is the way to go. I mean, that's 100% exactly how you should do things, because you should be able to tell. The fire's telling you a story, right? It's giving you like signs and symptoms of what are happening, right? You're looking at it, you're going, okay, that smoke over here is really pressurized and really fast. There's a lot of pressure right there. That velocity of that smoke's cranking. So that's where the source of the fire is closest to. I know I kind of have a general idea where the fire is, and it's moving over here. So we don't want to cut a hole over here if the fire's here, right? Yeah, I mean, that's a bad idea. Let's cut the hole closer to over here and isolate it and keep it here. And so it's those type of things, to trusting your gut, trusting your experience, identifying, using your own eyes on the scene, but not using SOPs or SOGs. And I get hit up about that all the time. People will text me like, hey man, you guys got give me your search SOG. It's like, we don't really have a search SOG. Now I can give you our search pamphlet and tell you all of the tasks that we do and how we do it, but we don't actually say how we're going to do it on each fire, because it changes. Depends on the building size up, depends on the conditions that we see. Is the fire on the first floor, the second floor, the third floor? It completely changes.
No, that's and how long of a transition? How is that just the culture, the way it is there, where it's that way, or has that been a deliberate building of a what am I trying to say? It's not independent operators, it's mission driven decision making as opposed to SOP driven decision making.
It is, right. And my buddy Dustin, he's been on the scrap before, so I think that is something that there's a hardcore group of us in Cobb that we've really tried to keep the SOP, SOG side of things out of it when it comes to strategy and tactics. I think there have been several attempts over the years from chief officers, and there was enough naysayers and convincing of why that is a bad idea. And another thing about that being a bad idea, like, so let's just say like there's variables and decision-making processes that are happening like that, like on the fireground, right? And you put an SOP and an SOG out there, and then something bad happens, and now legal things get involved, and they're using that SOP, SOG against you or against the fire department because maybe something changed because a variable was just slightly off. So there is a legal side of things. It's like, well, maybe I don't want to handcuff myself to that SOP, SOG, right? We want to kind of keep it open. So that's kind of our outlook on it.
And I don't know, and I don't want to paint with too broad a brush, but I tend to do that sometimes with my questions. But like SOPs, SOGs, generally speaking, it's like a safety net for people who don't put in the time to invest in their own, their ability to look at it and say, oh, the velocity is there, and it's hot, it's chugging. That's letting me know where the people who haven't put the time in to even understand what they're looking at. Is that what those SOPs, is that it's like a safety net?
Yeah, 100% a safety net, right? And we do, and we have an IMS manual, you know, and like that talks about the basic things, you know, like when you should transition to defensive operations, you know, the building's starting to fall in and that kind of stuff, and those obvious indicators for building construction failures and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we don't have anything that like really dials in as like, this is when you should do a ventilator search or a window initiator search, or this is when you should do ventilation, or this is when you should do exterior attack. Like, we don't have anything that detailed.
Right on. Love it. Love the questions. Keep the questions coming. You guys are killing it. Absolutely love it. I like this one because this is speaking a little more to the NFPA committees and a lot of there's a lot of, well, we'll just get into standards, but Kyle Pipperall wants to know, what was the largest takeaway after being on an NFPA committee, myths, mindsets, etc.?
Yep. So honestly, like the NFPA committees, right? There's a ton of hate out there, right? There's all the stickers, there's all that stuff, right? Like, oh, the NFPA is only there to like get manufacturers to develop new stuff and new
not
things.
for practical application. And,
yeah, all that stuff. So I'll be honest with you, man, like my eyes have been opened, and I am on a ton of NFPA committees, and I keep applying for more because I feel like the difference that I'm making when I go into that room, everybody wants to make a difference. Anybody who's a vigilante or watching the scrap, they want to make a difference in their department, right? We're all here to make a difference. And when you start hitting brick walls in your own department, like, man, I've been there. I get it, right? It just happens. You start hitting roadblocks. So go to the NFPA side of things. It's like, I'm winning. Like, the things that we want as the fire service. I mean, I'll tell you, like, I'll just use 1400 as an example. I sat on 1400 with Brian Brush and just a whole Bobby Drake and all these like phenomenal firemen from around the nation. And that is such a instrumental. The NFPA 1400 is the training committee. That is 1403, the live fire training committee. That committee is so instrumental to the American Fire Service and so misunderstood by so many agencies and so many chiefs out there that use it for their advantage to make up their own rules. And I get phone calls all the time. It's like, hey, man, you said on 1403, tell me about that. It's like, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that anywhere. How did you get that interpretation out of that? And so it's wild because firemen actually don't read the document, right? And so that is where I know it's crazy, right? So that is why we have been, you'll see us now, especially 1400, where we're trying to like go live from those committee meetings and like write articles like, hey, we just met. And the firemen, we're here trying to look out for the American Fire Service. We don't want the manufacturers to take control of it. That's why you should get involved with NFPA committees. If you're passionate about it, right now, sign up. Go on to NFPA.com, get on there, look at the open committees, and just apply. You throw your application on there and tell them why you want to be in that. Tell them why you want to be an expert on whatever it could be. You could be expert on ladders, an expert on hose, an expert on SBAs, on technical rescue, on everything, right? There's so many topics. Go find your expertise, something you're passionate about, and then go sit on that NFPA committee and make a difference, and don't allow the manufacturers to take it over. That's why we have to be involved as a fire service. Don't let them take that over. And I promise you, there's a really strong group of firefighters that are in the American Fire Service that are trying to make it better and really keep rocking on with NFPA. NFPA is not going away. Just for all you haters out there with the NFPA hater stickers, it's not going away. Embrace it and become part of it and make it better.
Steer it. Become a part of the steering committee.
That's right.
I love it. Look at here. They got some broad questions. Well, these are more broad. I like Hump, man. Hump always brings good questions. He says, congratulations on being chosen as presenter at FDIC 2026. 15 years, brother. That is a phenomenal. I don't know what the record is, but you got to be pushing on it.
Oh, I'm not even close, bro. There's dudes that have been there like 40 years.
That's great. But it's an incredible achievement. Can you sneak peek of what you're going to be teaching in the classroom and the hot?
Yeah, so the classroom's called Attack from the Burnside, and if anybody's been there, I try to change it up every year with new videos and things that are happening with fire attack. But Attack from the Burnside is really kind of challenging some of the narratives, right? It's like, hey, getting water on the fire, never walking past a fire with a nozzle, right? And so, and recently, I'm gonna drop his name because we have a good relationship, but Justin McWilliams and I just kind of went back and forth on the internet about it, right? And so it was a discussion about search versus water on the fire. And our argument, and my argument was like, dude, you're walking past flames that are blowing out of a window. Why wouldn't you stop and put water in that window? You're making everything better with that water, right? And his argument was, no, you're delaying that search. Valid arguments. Both are valid arguments, right? And so that's kind of what we talk about in the Attack from the Burnside classes is getting away from the textbook unburnside. And because can you imagine, like, let's say if I got a fire on the back of a house, am I really going to like completely, or let's say I got a fire on the front of the house when we pull up. Am I going to go around the back to the Charlie side to go from the unburned side? No, it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to punch it in the mouth right in the front, right? So that's what the class is about. We get into water mapping, air entrainment. We nerd out. I'm a total nozzle nerd. We talk about smooth bore. We talk about fog nozzles. We talk about all of the streams and really get kind of detailed with some of the research and the science. I play tons of videos. People will ask me for my PowerPoint. Happy to give them to you, but it's like out of 50 slides, there's probably 45 videos, and it's just us looking at fire porn and talking about sizing up the building. I'm trying to communicate with the class back and forth, like, where are you guys going? Where's your first line going? Where are we searching from first? And we're having like these fire attack discussions of really trying to get in there and get people thinking. So it's really a sizing class is what that class is.
Beautiful.
So then the hands-on class, sorry, I missed the second part of the question. My bad.
No, you're good.
So the second part of the question is, this is our class. It has been called, it's changed names multiple times. But it's been a flow path class. It's been working in the fire flow path. It is our live fire class that the Cobb Fire brothers and our brothers from Los Angeles County. And we have some mixtures in there. We have some FDNY guys. We got guys from Philadelphia. We've had guys from Phoenix. We got guys from all kinds of, we have guys from Canada come help us, but it's mostly LA and Cobb County is what it's kind of recognized, the LA Cobb class. We created a relationship many years ago with the LA County guys. And they taught us everything we know about fire dynamics, and we taught them everything they know about search. And so it's been great, honestly, man. That relationship's amazing. Like LA County is no longer searching with hose lines. They're finally going through windows and trying to rescue people. But that's what the class is about, man. I promise you have never taken a live fire class like this one. It's the best fire dynamics show you'll ever see, live fire wise. It's the best fire attack show you'll ever see with live fire, and also search and VES. Anybody who's ever taken our class is going to, trust me, you're going to get hot. You're going to get smoky. You're going to be tired in the end of it. And this year we have some new faces coming, and we're super excited about it, man. It's they're rebuilding the training center in Bargersville, and we got some really cool stuff coming out. One of my brothers, Grant Coffin from LA County, he's a welder, and the guy does fabrication stuff. And he offered up his expertise to rebuild this training center because we burned the shit out of this place so much that it's literally collapsing. So Bargersville's like, hey, we're going to dump money into it. Bring your guy, bring us a welder. We'll make it happen. And so this year is going to be badass. Can't wait.
Nice. I love it. Hopefully people can catch it that are listening. I like this one coming at you also from Hump. He wants to know, because I like these questions. These are broad questions. What strategies do you recommend for making positive changes in a fire department, especially when facing resistance from traditional mindsets?
Man, I think Martinez got this exact same question. So,
hey, I'm telling you, this might be the most repeated type of question that comes along. You know what I'm saying?
So, so on this, I gotta do a shout out real quick because I kind of forgot about him. Battalion Chief Steve Lester. Actually, sorry, not Battalion Chief. My bad, Chief. Division Chief of Training. Steve Lester, he's a top fan of yours. He's commenting about the scrap. This guy's a big scrap fan, dude. I love him.
Okay.
And he was my former battalion chief, and he's my.
I love this guy.
Oh yeah, oh dude, Steve Lester's awesome. So, anyways, he's our leading our organization of the training division right now, and really, man, that's where we're kind of headed. So, the resistance, right? It's there. There's always two forces fighting against each other. It's like Star Wars, right? There's Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. There's good and evil kind of fighting each other in each organization, and some are, depending on which side you're on, some are very safety policy oriented, and then others are very mission driven, right? And they're all about the them side of things, right? We're about the people. We're here to rescue people, and we're about the side of the job. And I think probably most of the vigilantes and the people that are on this show are probably about them. Man, for us, what we did was we started a small core group of us, about 20 of us. We started a truck academy, and that truck academy was forcible entry, search, ladders, and ventilation. And those were our 4 principles. That truck academy changed. We did not have a strong truck culture in our department at all. That changed the fabric of our department. From there, it turned into working groups within our recruit school. So now we have working groups for everything you can think of, for fire behavior, hose and nozzles, or fire attack, I should say, high rise, search, ladders, all across. All of it gets taught by subject matter experts within our department. And we continually to turn that over to the younger guys. So the older guys that have been on those groups, they start to pass it on to the next young guy coming up, right? And so that just keeps it going, keeping it going. So that is honestly, we started with the recruits. Then we had so much success, especially in our search side of things. We had so much success on the search side that the old guys that were in the field, the young guys were coming out, and they start spitting out this knowledge that they got, and they're like, hey man, how come I didn't get that? You know, so like at one point in my career, I went into the training division, and that's kind of when that transition came into phase. And I was like, hey man, we'll give it to you. We're going to give it. Let me create some computer-based training. We'll get it out there to you guys. Bring the field down. We'll do an entire department drill. We'll do fall drills, spring drills until everybody starts to get it. We start doing search techniques, and we made a lot of that happen. And now everybody has it. And it just changed the culture of our department to the point where we show up on every fire looking and expecting to find victims. And that was something that we didn't have, man. I was part of a civilian rescue many years ago, and with my man Chris Baines and my man Reggie Jenkins, and we went in on a truck, and we were just kind of blindly searching, didn't think we were going to find anybody, and then holy shit, came across a guy in a stairwell, and it surprised us, right? Why was I surprised? Because I was expecting not to find anybody.
Right. You're going into the mindset.
The mindset, right? And then we pulled him out, and we're like, holy shit. So we went back to the station, and while we should have been high-fiving him, like, hey, this is really cool, we beat ourselves up, man. We went back and we're like, hey, that sucked. We didn't know how to drag that guy. We didn't expect him. We got to be better than that. And we beat ourselves up and went back. And that, honestly, that civilian rescue became kind of the catalyst, the starting point of making things better. People started talking about that rescue. And then from there, it just got crazy. Now we have civilian rescues all the time. I know that sounds insane. People are like, oh, no, they don't. Like, man, look it up. Like, lots, right? And we have cyano kits that we're giving. Our paramedics are giving cyano kits. We bring the people out. And it's because we are getting water on the fire, like, immediately. There is no delay. So when we pull up on the scene, there's 2 things happening, right? The pillars of our fire ground in Cobb County are fire attack and search. Those are the pillars of our fire grounds. And we're doing both at the same time. We flood the building with water, and we flood the building with people. So we don't care if we're coming in opposite of hose streams. We're not scared of that. We teach our kids that in the very beginning, right? We also teach our kid, as soon as he gets the nozzle in his hand, hey man, you don't have to have an officer to tell you to put water on the fire. Open up that nozzle and start knocking down the fire. You see flames, put water on the fire. We don't care where you're standing. And there's no ego about it anymore. When this stuff first started, I'd get phone calls and texts and be like, oh, hey man, engine 30 put water on the fire through a window today. Holy shit, are you pumped? And then it's like, well, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. Well, now it's like, I don't even hear about it anymore because that's just common practice. Like, nobody even talks about it. It's not like engine 30 put water through the window. Those guys are a bunch of sissies. I can't believe they did that. That's just common knowledge. Like, hey, they put water through the window, put the fire out so the other crews could search and get people out of the building. That's what it's all about, man. It's just getting people to realize, like, we're so far past like all of that ego stuff of like, if I put water on the outside, there was a video last year from that I played at FDIC last year. And I'm sure you've probably seen it. It's like a 2-story townhome, and there's a guy forcing the front door, and there's a young guy with a nozzle, and the flames are blowing out a 2nd-story window right above the front door, and he puts water through the window, and the guy turns like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" And he yells at the guy, right? It's like the classic fire department videos, because like, you just put my fire out. What are you doing? It's like, yeah, he's doing the right thing. He's putting the fire out. But that's kind of, we've gotten past that in our department, and we've gotten past the cool factor, right? So those are the challenges that we can. I mean, to that guy that just, hey man, just keep pushing forward. Try to find different angles, right? Try to create specialty groups. Start with the young kids, then go to them. Then we go to the officers. And I think Martinez offered it up before, and I'll offer it up again. You guys contact me when this is all over. I'll send you our search drive. It's there for everyone. I can't tell you all the stuff that's in this drive. PowerPoint after PowerPoint for everybody you can think of, from recruit school to officers to chiefs. Everything you can think of, our search stuff is in there. And so, and it's changed departments across the country.
Speaking of Dustin, what was the origin of the feud? I should say the rumor of the feud, because I don't want to add fuel to the. But where did that start? Where did it come from? Because when I first met him, I thought you guys did have a feud.
No, Dustin's just full of shit. He's hilarious, right? So Dustin was my rookie at Station 19, which is currently where I'm a captain. But I was a driver at the time, and Dustin came on board, and we both are from the West Coast, and kind of have these like-minded things about each other. I actually gave him when he got off probation, I gave him my Halligan. I gave him a Halligan that I had, right, as a gift for getting off probation. And no, I mean, we're like the best of friends, man. And so the feud kind of began because Dustin is absolutely hilarious, and he kind of plays like the saltier role, and right. I mean, he's kind of like got his helmet, like in his photos, he's got his helmet down. It's kind of got the side twist on it. And, he's kind of playing that like tough guy role, and he talks that game and everything. It's like, I get it, and I'm not that guy. I'm more on the research side of thing. I'm the nerd side of things. And so I'm not the ego part, tough guy fireman type of stuff. And so he kind of played each other against. Everybody's like, oh yeah, that guy, he wants to fight every fire from the outside. So Dustin took that and just kind of played it against me, and it became jokes. It became memes. And yeah. I'm the kind of guy that, dude, my nickname is Sissy. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Like, I could care less. Like, make fun of me. I don't care. And yeah, so that's where all that came from. And no, we're the best of friends, and people think that we're not. It's hilarious. I love it.
No, it was for me when I just, you don't know. It's just, that was real. That was reality. Like, they don't like each other at all, but no, it wasn't real.
Hell, I talked to him for 30 minutes today. We were talking about a fire that happened in our department last night, so yeah.
I got one coming out from DJ Stone, 850 Fireman. He says, "Command, ? Does Blue Card Command get a bad rap? ? How has Cobb County adapted the system for operations?"
Yeah, so again, my man Steve Lester, he's a big Blue Card guy. So yeah, DJ, we hated it when we first got it. Hated it. Just be honest with you, we completely against it. The people from Blue Card, the higher ups some are not there any longer. They came into our department. They spoke. Dustin Martinez, myself, many others were in the crowd, and we're challenging them. And they were saying things like, never go on the roof, never VES, all things that we do as a fire department. And right. We feel like we do fairly well, right? And we challenge them with, wait a minute, you're selling an incident command system. Why are you talking about strategy and tactics? It's supposed to be a command language. And so those were some of the initial challenges that we had in Cobb County with Blue Card. Now all of that's changed. I think it's become a phenomenal system for us because we've started to learn some of the language. If Blue Card stays away from the strategy and tactics side of things and lets their command language work itself into departments, that's the key. Don't try to change people's strategy and tactics, because departments across the country do things a little bit differently. And there's too many variables for you to do that, to say, hey, this system, you should do this here. Right. So we talked about that earlier.
The SOP, SOG discussion.
Yeah, it's gotta be a language. And that's really all it is. It is part of your language and your blue card instant command stuff. I believe me, I helped Lincoln, Nebraska get through some of this, and they struggled with it as well, because you see all these things online and they're like, well, blue card says this, blue card says that. Some things get out there, and they do have shows just like this, and people speak some of their personal opinions, and they take a sound bite and it flies off the handle and goes crazy. I don't think that any of those, I don't think they have any ill intent for that. They're just speaking some personal opinions, right? Just like I am tonight. People probably take some of the sound bites that I've said tonight and it'll go wild, right? But
the crazy thing is you can have a 90-minute, 2-hour discussion sometimes, and people will take a 30-second clip and be like, what the hell is that guy even talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's one of those things. So I would advocate for blue card. So for us, when we did accreditation, and I'm talking like high level chief stuff here, right? When you go from the highest level of the chief stuff and you start talking about accreditation purposes, the things you're going to get hit on in accreditation is incident management systems. We didn't have a good one. We just didn't have a great one. And so we bought one, and we bought blue card, and it has started to work for us. But man, the transition has been very slow. I would say that we have one of the best blue card labs in the nation now. That again, Chief Lesser is running and has built, and it's been an amazing system there. So if you ever see blue card and it's hosted in Cobb County, Georgia, come check it out. It's one of the best labs out there. But we're not like this crazy blue card department where we're like not doing things aggressively. Like, don't put blue card and shitty fire department together, because that's not the case. I can tell you that our blue card is pretty solid, and even Dustin Martinez, he'll joke with you about blue card, but he does it and does a very good job at it. That guy's going to be a chief one day, and that's what we do. So,
killer. Oh, great question, DJ. Thank you for it. The Truckee wants to know, hey brother, with the NFPA live fire standard 1403. I feel like it doesn't allow for us to create real live fire conditions. What can we use that NFPA 1403 will allow to help create that?
So that's my man Colin Ward out there in Utah. What's up, bro? There's some tricks, right? And if you come to our FDIC class, we're going to show you some of that stuff with 1403. Is 1403 talks about wood products. A lot of people think that it got banned to OSB, and that came from the IAFF. The IFF put out a notice stating that the IFF did not support the usage of OSB. And when they put that out, it went crazy public, and a lot of locals tapped onto it like, that's it, can't use OSB anymore. 1403 does not say that. It does not say that. It doesn't say anywhere in there. And there's some guys that are around the country that have like fought against it from the IFF side of things. And I fought it from the 1403 side against them. Listen, we used all of the research that's there for us. FSRI did an entire research study on training fuels, 2 of them, 2 research studies. And if it burns, it's got carcinogens in it, period. If it's wood, it doesn't matter what type of wood it is. It has carcinogens in it. And that's the basic thing. And so we got to a point on the 1403 committee, bro, where it was like, hey, are we still going to allow live fire training, or are we not going to allow it? Like, that's the decisions we got to make here. Honestly, our last meeting, that was the decision we had to make. And it was like, no, there's way too much value to take that away. We can't take live fire training away from the fire departments. Like, that's dumb. Let's put in all of the other stuff. So when you see 1403, the new one come out here in 2026, is coming out in January, you're going to see all of these things put in place. The decon side of things, all of the cancer prevention stuff, everything that your man and my man, Frank Lieb, talks about, right? All of those safety things put into place for cancer prevention. We are really trying to take care of our people and decreasing their exposure. And for 1403, dude, you can put it all in there. It's not, there's a lot of misconceptions. Like I got a phone call yesterday from a guy talking about smudge pots or smoke barrels. Look it up. Smoke is not live fire. Live smoke is not live fire, people. Look it up. It's in, I know you're going to have to read the NFPA document and try to interpret it, but it's not that long. I promise. It'll put you asleep, to sleep a couple nights in a row. But it's there, and you can do some really cool stuff with live fire.
Excellent, man. Great questions.
Oh, I hear beeping.
Greg Carter wants to know. He says, best question of the night. What's in the tumbler?
Oh, in the tumbler. Right here, bro. Hang on. I got it right here. Horse soldier. And you got to know it, man. So this label, it's a tin metal label, stamped by 9/11 steel. Horse soldiers, if you don't know, they were the first people after 9/11 that went into Afghanistan. And so it's built. This whiskey is built by a bunch of special forces dudes that put that into place. And because it's stamped with 9/11 steel, that's what I'm about. So that's what I'm drinking. $50 a bottle, not too bad. And yeah.
They had the movie made with where they had the horses, right?
Yeah, that's it. Horse soldier whiskey, man. That's my jam.
Right on. No, I knew, I only know it from the movie, but I never seen the whiskey.
Yep. So it used to only be sold in Georgia. It's now, or only sold in Florida. Now it's sold in Georgia. So you got to get it. It's in Indianapolis too. If you go to FDIC.
Perfect. Greg Carter wants to know about your new training facility.
Yeah. So new training facility. That started with Training Chief Tom Hancock, and then that turned into where the current training chief is, Chief Steve Lester. And that vision, it's been a long time coming. So that's SPLOST funds is where a lot of that was built from. And honestly, I've been dreaming about something like that for 20 plus years, bro. And it's state of the art. Everything you can think of. We have every kind of live fire scenario you could put in. We have concrete buildings. We have metal boxes. We have a high-rise tower. In our high-rise tower, we have different floors with different configurations. If you come to Massey, you'll get to use it. It has apartment buildings inside on one of the floors. It has a commercial strip mall. Everything you can think of is there, dude. It's sick. So yeah, pretty stoked.
You got this Taj Mahal of a training facility for your last 2 years.
It's pretty stupid. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, better 2 years than that. Not at all.
I know, dude. Yeah. So yeah, we tried to do a lot of really good things with it. It took so long to build it that there were a lot of good ideas, and some of those good ideas went away, but most of the bad ideas went away. And I think we've done a really, really good job with it. It's pretty solid. I'm stoked about it. There's still more to be built. Dude, we just built, if you hadn't seen it since last Massey, because I don't think that part opened yet. We actually have a fire engineering part where, like, for pump operators, we got everything in there. We got a fire pump. We got, dude, FDCs. Kyle Smith, he nerds the hell out in there. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, right? If you guys don't know who Kyle Smith is, it's like Sprinkler-matic down in Miami. It's not that good, but it's pretty dang good. Our fire marshal's office got involved, and man, it's some really, really cool nerd stuff if you want to talk about that. The only thing that's missing is like an elevator. That's about the only thing our fireground doesn't have is an elevator.
Well, man, so much still. I mean, there's so much I want to ask you, but I also want to get to so many topics. Education. You are a learned man with a lot of paperwork behind those learned, and like you said, but you're also you're pursuing a PhD.
I'm working on it. We'll see. I'm not there yet, but yeah, I am. Yeah, I set myself to go to that. So yeah, let's just start with this. So right after that near miss happened with my son being there as a baby, man, I was tired of not being educated, right? And so I went and got my fire safety and engineering degree from University of Cincinnati, and just did it all online and plugged away. Had to go up there a couple of times, take some classes here and there, and got my bachelor's in that. And I think probably some people see engineering and stuff like that. It's not a real engineering degree, but it's fire safety engineering from University of Cincinnati. It's a legit degree. And then from there, I got my master's. I went off to the Naval Postgraduate School. If you're not familiar with that, it's a program that's funded by the Department of Homeland Security, and graduated with from the Homeland Security certificate from there. And from that, the mistake that I made there was that those credits don't transfer over to a PhD. You got to be in the Navy or something, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of one of those things, like a stopping point. So I've gone back and got another master's in occupational safety and health from Columbia Southern, and that's where I'm going to continue my PhD. So we'll see.
So next time you're coming on the scrap, you'll be Dr.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's going to be a long time. I'll be retired by the time that I'm a doctor. But no, listen, man. Here's the thing: it
took 300 episodes to get you on here the first time. So
right, yeah,
we're looking at 600 for round 2.
Man, that's right. So I'm a forever student, right? I'm a student of the game, and And that's something that, like one of my mentors, Dave McGrail, he'll always tell you, like, hey man, be a student of the game. And that's what I am. I'm constantly learning, and every class that I take, I get intrigued and I get challenged, and it's fun. It's something that keeps my brain going. And I like plugging away at it. It's real slow, just one class at a time, but
right.
Yeah, but it's still something that keeps me engaged, man.
Consistency wins, man. 100%.
That's right.
And if you want proof that inconsistency doesn't, just look at my BJJ and how slow I progress in that, because I am wildly inconsistent. I love talking about books, and this is usually where I transition to book or books that you think firefighters should be reading. And I will say, there's so many topics I still want to talk to you about. I am going to have you back on, and I will not be 300 episodes from now. So we have to agree on that. But we'll transition to books and talk about book or books that you think firefighters should be reading. Not just firefighting books, and of course the Evolving Fireground 2nd edition coming out. It's going to be out by FDIC, yes?
Yeah, it'll be it's going to be preview, or I guess I don't know what you call that, premiered, or it's going to be a thing at FDIC. That's why the FDIC, the hot class, is going to be called the Evolving Fireground Search and Fire Attack, because after the book, we're working on some things behind the scenes where we're trying to do something special with maybe getting the students at least like a discount, or I really want to get a book in every student's hand if I can. Every student that comes to our hot class, I want them to have a book. We'll see what that happens. We're working on it. Roads, make it happen. Okay. But we're trying to make it happen, man. It's a whole political process, but something that came up today, my son actually reminded me of it, and a book it's a leadership book that I really kind of identifies the way that I do things, and it's called The Mission, The Men and Me. Oh, yeah. And man, that one, dude, that one hits hard, right? Is that because that's truly what it's about. It's about the mission and being part of that, and always thinking about, hey, we've got to get this mission done. But then at the same time, it's got to be about the men after that, and then you last, right? So, and that's kind of that. I know you hate the leaders eat last thing. Dude, I've been joking at the firehouse kitchen table about that. I was like, because it happened today at breakfast. Everybody's sitting there looking at each other. And I was like, this isn't what the book is about.
Right. You're missing the point. Yeah. It's one of my favorite books, but everybody misses the point. It's the title. Yes.
They do. Right. So, but I like The Mission, Men and Me. That's a really, really good one, man. And military driven. And that's kind of where my brain is right now. Is my youngest son is in U.S. Marine Corps boot camp at Parris Island right now. And we haven't heard from him, but hopefully he's locked in and doing great things. And so he's becoming part of that culture. But yeah, Mission, Men and Me is a really, really good leadership book to kind of get you started. If you're a new upcoming officer, I highly encourage you to watch that. It's an easy read. Mission, Men and Me it's short, dude. Less than 100 pages, I think. It's not a heavy read. I like I know you're a Simon Sinek fan, but I like Start With Why. Right. And it's
a great book. Great book.
This younger generation. And again, I'm looking over here at my son. He's asking me why all the time. And that's what they really want to know, right? Is I'm seeing this today. So today at the firehouse, when I left and came home to be on this thing tonight, and I had a new kid, Noah, and young Noah. He started with us today. It's his very first day in the firehouse, right? And we're trying to give him the why. We're showing him, we're teaching him things, just basic things like, hey man, this is why you should get in the sink and clean the dishes. And hey, this is why you should be the first one to the rig. And, hey, this is why you should pull the hose line this way. And this is some things that we do things here at Station 19. And all of those things is like, and I know in his head, he's like, well, why? And that's something that I think as a leader, you have to tell people, you have to give those kids the why. And it's so important. And that's where if you listen to Simon Sinek's, even his any podcast or anything he's done where he talks about that and you read the book, he really explains like the success in business of, especially like with Apple, right? It's because they give you the why of why you should buy Apple products. And a lot of places don't do that. So I think as a fire service, you can adapt that. And that's where the research-based tactics and the experience come together, is because that is the why. The research-based tactics is giving you the why. Like, I didn't know why when I first started in the fire service, why the hell we were doing the things we did. It was because my officer told me to do that. And if I didn't do that, he'd kick me in the butt. Right.
You just said how high, jump, yes, sir, how high?
Exactly. Yeah. I'll make it happen. Right. And so now it's all about the why. And so that's the great thing about FSRI is they're providing us with the why, and that's why you should pay attention to what they're doing in the Fire Safety Academy.
Beautiful.
All right, so other books. Let me give you some firefighter books because I think I had it on my list there, right?
Go. Now, you got carte blanche. You can go as long as you want.
Bro,
I'll talk books for 2-3 hours.
20,000 Alarms, man. Richard Hamilton, 20,000 Alarms. If you've never read it,
my little brother went to Half Price Books and he got a copy of 20,000 Alarms for like $4.99.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was unreal. He just finished reading it and told me, he was talking about it. And he sent me a picture of it. I said, "Are you joking me right now?" Because, that's like one of the most expensive books you can find, if you can even find a copy.
Well, I got lucky. I found a hard copy recently, a hardback, and I actually gave it to a good friend of mine as he retired, Battalion Chief Kevin Lewis. He's taught with us at FDIC for years, as a mentor of mine, and I gave it to him as a retirement gift. And because I know that he's from New York, and man, 20,000 Alarms, that when you get a chance to read that book, anybody who can find it. Trust me, it's about the war years and FDNY and just what they went through and the things that they saw and
amazing stories, like the collision. I mean, just the
crazy stories. Like you read that and you're just like, holy crap. Like I want to live that life, right? Like I want to be part of that. And but it's so I usually try to give, I have a paperback copy still. And the rookies that I like, I usually give them that book. I'm like, hey, be careful with this book. I want it back. Do you read? And sometimes they say yes, and sometimes they no. If they say no, I'm like, do you want to read? so I give it to them and I get it, try to get it back. And then, another book that I try to give to all the rookies and is the Book of Andy.
Yeah.
And so that one is a huge one, right? I started to reference why you got me on the Book of Andy. We'll go back to the FSRI thing, right? So let's go back to the FSRI advisory board meeting I told you guys about way earlier with all those legends. So I'm on a boat at the very first advisory board meeting, and John Cirillo, the captain of Rescue 1 from FDNY, just retired. But I give a shout out to John. I'm sitting on a boat with John. I've never really been around him. Don't know him for anybody. And he's like, hey, we're just talking on fire service stuff, just like we're doing here. And he's like, had 9/11 not happened, you'd be sitting on this boat talking to Andy Fredericks. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, Andy was all about the research. I worked with Andy on Squad 18. He tells me all the story about Andy. He goes, he loved it. He was all into it. He's trying to make things better. He was designing nozzles and he was doing all these things that people didn't talk about, things that never got published. And he's writing all these articles and the things that really, when you look back and man, you read the Book of Andy and you look at the things that he's describing in his articles, Black Fire is a great one. He's talking about fire dynamics. He is seeing what we all know today. He's describing the things, the flow paths and the bidirectional. Dude, he's talking about all of that stuff in his articles through his experience. He gets it, right? The light bulb is turned on for Andy, and he's like starting to see all these things and flowing water onto surfaces and through the smoke. And that's why smooth bores matter, because of the larger droplets. And the dude is like so locked in, like he's got it figured out before the scientists even had it figured out. And so that John Cirillo like really hit me with that, was like, oh, wow. Yeah. Like, no, yeah, you're right. Andy really did have it right. And had he not got killed, God rest his soul, on 9/11, I probably would have been sitting on a boat talking to him about research-based tactics and how cool, what that would have been. And so just some of the backstory, I really try to encourage people to read the Book of Andy, because if you're into nozzles and you want to be a good engine guy, you need to read the Book of Andy. Start there, because man, every article in there that he wrote, and so excited that they finally put it together in a book, because it was just on PDF and guys were sharing it. And now that Fire Engineering has published that and made it a book, it's legit. I can't wait to give it to my son when he retires, or not retires, or finishes recruit school, because that should be his first read, as he's a rookie.
Right on. I love it. Great list of books, brother. Which takes us to the 5 questions for firefighters.
Okay.
Now we are on the 4.0. So many that I'm losing track. Number one, right out there. The thing is, there's no right answers. There's only your opinions. And the points are arbitrary, assigned by me. So, first question is, are you ready for the 5 questions for firefighters version 4.0, Mr. Sean Gray?
Sure.
Let's do this. Number one, you can do anything in the world except be a firefighter. What would you choose to be?
Ooh. Probably a pilot.
That's surprising. I mean, not that you say that, but these are new, and you're the second pilot. So I'm wondering if there's a trend that's going to be uncovered. But go ahead.
You know, and so because the way that I think about it is that to be a pilot, you have to be so locked in and like learn your craft. And it's so like I've watched. So fortunately, I did get to fly as a flight paramedic for 5 years as a flight medic, and I got to watch helicopter pilots maneuver things, and I was so in awe of what they had to do to be able to fly a helicopter. If you ever just sat and watched a helicopter pilot fly a helicopter, it's pretty amazing because you would think that like what they're holding, like they're really gripping it, and they're not. Like they'll tell you like, oh, they just hold it like an egg, like a hard-boiled egg.
Holding an egg, yeah.
Right? And then they're moving this up and down to give speed, and then their feet are on the pedals to keep you from going sideways, back and forth. Dude, it is like, man, I'm looking. I don't think you're talking about like juggling and dancing and kicking with your feet at the same time. And so, yeah, so I think about that and I'm like, man, it's a super talented thing to do. And you got to be super locked in and just like squared away every single moment. Like I can remember like going into scene flights and things are dark and it's like, it's some dangerous shit. Right. And it's like, we're looking for power lines for landing zones. And these guys are so hardcore locked in, like mission ready. Right. And that's where I think about that pulling up to fires is that's how locked in you need to be. It's like, you need to be locked in and be mission ready, be ready to go and identify things that are happening around you. Right. And pay attention. So yeah. So I think a pilot just because that's when my brain thinks.
No, I love it. I love the answer. It'd be interesting to see. And Rick, we're going to end the truck. You both gave you max points. I agree. Max points, 1 for 1 right out the gate.
Okay.
Number 2, it's Jobtown. It's time. You're en route and responding. Think of the scene from Backdraft where he slaps that cassette into that tape deck. What song are you playing while en route?
So I went back and forth on this one. At first, I was like Metallica. Then I was like Halen, right? And then I was like, you know, probably in my crew who's watching right now, they're gonna laugh because they get pissed at me because we're just that crew, right? Like we are the ones that like we go through one bottle and we come out, we rehab, and I'm like, hey, get another bottle on. We're going right. Don't even take your pack off. Just get another bottle. You know, the chief's like, hey, 19, you ready to go back in? Yep, we're ready, chief. And so Till I Collapse by Eminem, because that's kind of our mantra, right? So and that's the reality, man, is that we're going to do multiple bottles and we're there to work. And we try to have that reputation about us is that, you know, we know the chiefs know that, hey, if things still need to get done in there and there's still more fire and other companies are there and they look tired, like they're probably going to come out and take a rest in the yard. And we're going to come out, grab a swig of water, put a new bottle in, and we're going right back in to work again. So Till I Collapse by Eminem.
Love it. Sam, has it? Okay. It has been on there. All right. That is okay.
Okay.
No, it's not. You don't have to be original. I just like to know. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Very popular. And it's Driving Beat and it's Eminem. It's great. 2 for 2 max points. And also just know your selection, although yours is already on the playlist, there is a playlist of all songs ever been mentioned on the scrap.
I love it.
So it's on Spotify. So number 3, tomorrow morning, you wake up and you are the chief of department. It can be a small suburban department. It can be wherever, fantasy department. Don't have to be your department, but you can do whatever you want. What's the first change you are making?
First of all, it's never going to happen because I'm not that guy.
That's the number one thing everybody says to this question. Go ahead.
All right. So honestly, I'm probably going to ask people to do window initiated searches. I'm going to ask you, do you feel comfortable going through a window? And if you don't, why not? And where are we as a culture of thinking about getting to the victim the fastest way possible? Identifying, recognizing the smoke conditions, recognizing the fire dynamics and the fire behavior that's involved, and seeing what exactly is happening is like, that's searchable space. I can get there. I need to go there now. There could be a victim right there. That's a bedroom. All of those things, like that's what we're going to start with, because that is where we've been most successful in Cobb County, is identifying those places, right? We're sizing up the building for search and we're sizing up the building for fire at the same time. So I think that's my biggest thing. Yep.
Window initiators. I'm gonna start the WIS. The WIS.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to be correct with the FSRI stuff, right? So because that's really what, and people are gonna like, oh, they're trying to change the books and they're blah blah blah. Listen, what we're trying to do is we're trying to be common sense about it, and we're trying to get away from the mnemonics of VES and VEIS and that whole argument. And we're trying to say, hey man, going through a window is just as safe as going through a door. It's the same thing. Recognizes the conditions when you take that window is if the interior door is open or closed. Really, when you walk up, you should be able to tell the conditions of what's coming out of that window before you even break it, because it's likely a vinyl window and smoke's pushing out and it's melting or whatever around it. If that's happening, you probably got an interior door that's open. So those are the things, man. Those are the keys that you try to learn with fire dynamics. And it was one of the pieces I wanted to try to touch on, like in Cobb, is like, dude, all of our working groups, fire dynamics is our base. We start with fire dynamics in the very beginning. We burn dollhouses. We do all of the stuff. And then every part of the recruit school after that, they're still teaching they may not be talking about flow pass, and they're not using all the words that I'm using, right? But they're still forcible entry. What do? They pop a door. What do they do immediately when the door gets popped? Close it back. Why? Oh, because of fire dynamics, right? So same with VES or window initiated search, right? What do they do as soon as they go inside the window? Get to the door, close it. Close off the flow path. What do we teach on interior search? Hey, we're going to get down a hallway. We're going to get to a door, and we're going to get in that room. We're going to close the door behind us, and we're going to search the bed and the targets first, and all those things, right? We're going to take the window because we know if the door is closed, we're going to vent the window because the door is isolated. Like those all have fire dynamics as your basic core piece, right? And so that's the piece, man. It's huge. It's important.
No, I love it. Max points, easy, 3 for 3. You're crushing it so far.
Okay.
Number 4. This one is on the clock. I know you can see the clock. The audience can see the clock. You got 1 minute to answer, but you are riding backwards. Backseat firefighter. It's a 4-man engine. You can also make it a truck, so that's up to you. Okay. But you can choose anyone. Who is your dream company to ride with? 1 driver, 1 officer, and another firefighter.
Okay. So I've thought about this one already, right? And I know like Kurt was going to take you down to like the 1 second mark. Talked about that. I'm not going to take you to the 1 second mark. I don't have that much patience. So, and his answer for Kyle Smith about the pump operator, I'm just going to say, it's pretty damn good. That's a pretty damn good answer, because Kyle Smith is a complete nerd, and that's the guy you want on the pump, right? So honestly, I think I'm going with the firefighter that I want with me is probably Keith Stakes.
Ooh,
the guy hands down has seen more nozzle time than any fireman in the country. Just solid dude. He gets it, right? So officer, I'm going Pete Van Dorp all day as my officer, and I'm going to say Kyle Smith is my driver.
There you go. 3 seconds. I wondered if you were maybe he can't see the clock. I was like,
3 seconds.
He's gonna go right. He's gonna blow past and blow his max points. I love your crew, brother. I would be honored to ride with that crew, or just even buff that crew when they went to a fire. It'd be awesome. 4 for 4. Final question. Heavy fire. Searchable space. Would you rather be assigned to the nozzle or first in on a window initiated search?
All right. Here's the argument I talked about earlier. Where's my guy, Justin McWilliams, calling him out right now, right? So, and I mean, just so you know, like in the background, man, Justin and I we're working on the fire engineering, Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2 textbook.
Yes.
All the search stuff. I'm doing Firestream stuff. Keith Stakes is doing Firestream stuff. So we are all collaborating and working together to try to come up with this just like solid document. So when kids go through recruit school and they're using the fire engineering, Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2 textbook, like they're getting kind of like this really kind of common sense approach, right? As much as I've talked about search and how that is part of our fabric in Cobb County, I got to go with Nozzle, man.
I'm surprised. I always try to guess what you're going to say.
Because water makes everything better. It just does, right? And I know I'm a truck captain, And my guys at the station are like, oh, come on, Cap, you're giving it to the engine. Hey, man, water makes everything better. And it just does. So, and there's guys that are working at the station right now, if they're still watching. We had a guy there that was part of a near miss recently. And you know why that near miss happened? Because he was going through a window and things started to light off around him. And fortunately, he recognized the shit that was happening around him because of the fire dynamics training we've done. And he got the hell back out.
Hell yeah.
It was because the engine screwed up and they didn't get water on the fire. The engine is the key to everything. Water on the fire makes everything better, right? The search crews can't search unless the engine gets water on the fire. And that's the reality. Like, don't be afraid of the water. Do it at the exact same time, but the engine's got to come through. They've got to get water on the fire. That is an absolute must. And that's why we try to teach our people, like, do not be afraid. You should not be standing there with a charged nozzle in your hand waiting for an officer to tell you something to do. Start putting extinguishing and putting water on the fire. Don't be afraid to do that. And I don't care where you're standing from the outside, from the inside. Just make sure that it's a straight stream. You know, this is an opportunity to talk about side note rabbit trail. You know, is fog versus smoothbore. It's like, oh, you fog or smoothbore guy. You know, my buddy from LA County, Chad, he's going to tell you, like, I'm a fog guy because it's more complicated and I want you to understand your nozzle more, right? And I'm going to tell you, hey, smoothbore all the way. It's just open and close. I can't screw that up, right? It's just, you can't screw that up. It's just open and close. But the fog is a little bit more complicated. I want the fogs to lock. That's why I sit on NFPA committees. I'm trying to change on the hose and nozzle committee. I'm trying to get fog nozzles to lock in place, and that you got to press a tab to get it to go to a fog nozzle, because we know that air entrainment is really, really bad. It's got to be straight stream. It's got to be smooth bore to get that extinguishment going, and then you're not going to hurt anybody on the opposite side of the stream.
Love it. And you officially crushed the 5 questions for firefighters as expected. 5 for 5 max points, my brother. Absolutely crushed it. And that officially puts 317 scraps in the books. Sean Gray, if someone wants to get a hold of you, and people have already said it in the YouTube chat that they want to get a hold of you and get that search information, you know, Cobb County search, you know, all that. But what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, happy to give it up, man. So my email address is FF as in firefighter, Sean Gray, SEANGRAY @gmail.com. Email me, dude. I'll send you the link. You know, I can't take credit for it. It's Dustin Martinez put that whole thing together, made it happen. And now again, it's continued on, but guys like Jimmy Gregory and all these guys in my department that just continue to make it happen. And we just keep gathering more information. And just like Dustin said on his scrap, listen, dude, we stole this stuff from other people and made it our own, molded it and created it and turned it into something that we wanted it to be. We didn't make it. We didn't create it. Everything's recycled in the fire service. And so don't say, hey, Cobb County made this up, because probably not. We probably stole it from somewhere else, and somebody's going to be pissed that we said that we created it. So that's just the disclaimer that's out there.
Right on. Right on. Brand new thing that we're doing. We started doing it in 2025, so it's not that new anymore. But scrap challenge for everybody who's watching the scrap tonight. A challenge for them to get done before the next scrap on next Tuesday. What is your challenge to them?
Yeah, so this is something that I thought of the other day because I've been working on it with my son, right? And talking about rapid dress, and as you're going through recruit school, that's like a big part of it. And man, I want to challenge everybody to be able to mask up with your gloves on.
Mask up, gloves on.
Mask up with gloves on. It's critical, because when that time comes and that person, that wife is standing in the driveway, and when you get that search, there's going to be videos in that search document that you guys want, that search folder. You're going to see videos in there, and you're going to see helmet cameras from some of our officers, and they're going to get off, and there's a wife standing there telling this officer, like, they're there. They're right there. They're in the house. It's go time. We don't have time to be dicking around with our gloves. We need to be ready to go. You should be able to put your mask on and have everything set up with your gloves on. And if you don't have the right gloves, your department doesn't buy you the right gloves, go find some, or go see my boy Ryan Pennington, right? Like, there are dudes out there that are making gloves to make things better for us so that we have more dexterity. I can't tell you how many pairs of gloves I've tried or gone through trying to find the right fit. And dude, it's all about having the right pair of gloves and making sure that you can strap up. And then some of those guys out there, again, Justin McWilliams, like, he's really big on that, trying to get masked up super quickly and have everything on your mask. So I'm a one strap guy. Like I just pull it on, strap up, yank it on, and we go, right? So that's the biggest thing, man. Mask up with your gloves on, make it happen. Challenge yourself till next week. You can YouTube it. There's guys out there challenge. Oh yeah, there's tons of guys out there that are challenging out there. So I heard you mention Cody Trestrell later. Like his whole group, those guys are challenging people to make that happen, and that's what it's all about. I go, I put my helmet back, cowboy style, so I have a long chin strap, and that's why I wear that like that, because I just go cowboy style. I'm not smart enough to take my helmet off. I can't do it, dude. I'm not that smart. So I got to just put it around my neck, and then it reminds me when it's choking me to pull my helmet back up.
Right on.
Yep.
And make sure you do a long chin strap, because before I was ever introduced to Quick Dawn, I went to a Fools event. OKC Metro Fools were doing an event, and this was OKC Fire Chief Kelly was actually a captain at the time. That's how long ago this was, and he was teaching VES, which was something kind of new at this time. You know what I'm saying? But they showed us some Quick Dawn stuff, and I tried it for the first time ever, and I never practiced it or anything. I threw my helmet back, and dude, it got turned sideways. It was like a garrote back there. It was a total embarrassment.
It's a mess, man.
I tried to choke myself out on the drill ground. But practice it. I love the challenge, man. Great challenge. The last thing I like to ask is, who do you think should be on the scrap? And I'm always trying to grow the network. And I know you can't know all 300 or 250 plus guests that have been on, but who do you think should be on the scrap or back on the scrap?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of some guys that I feel like they're really kind of changing some things. Have you ever had Kyle Sampson on?
No, I haven't. No.
So
I did, it was super early.
Maybe. So, and I'm going to tell you, Kyle Sampson, he was a hater. He's a Sean Gray hater. But him and I have like just kind of come back together and had discussions online. And Kyle Sampson is doing some really cool stuff with decision-making processes.
Okay.
And I really love the things that he's doing. Like I think that, all the stuff in the past, like both just kind of matured over time, and the things that Kyle's doing with decision-making processes is pretty interesting stuff. So I think
he wrote some articles early on when I was doing articles and blogs. I think he wrote some articles for that.
Yeah,
I think some of his
styles are different, like Kiel.
Kiel, yeah. I know him. I don't, but I haven't had him on. So yeah, I'll definitely reach out. It's a great call.
Honestly, I think that the decision-making process, because it's that prime decision-making process, right? Of like, really, and I do believe there are some things there, like some human controls that we can't control. And especially like when your heart rate gets to a certain level and it takes away your auditory response. And there's something to that. And I don't know we've talked about it at the UL advisory board with Kerber and everything else, like how to measure that type of stuff. Human response is very difficult to measure. And
so variable too, man. So
many people react differently and stay calm, and
it's like the scientific method goes out the window because you can't repeat it. As soon as you change the subject, the whole thing out the window.
No, absolutely right. And so I've gone round and around with guys over the years about that. It's like, hey, if you could recognize this thing, it's like, well, I didn't recognize it because my heart rate was 170, and
sure.
And so but that's, I think Kyle Sampson's really onto some good stuff there and having some really solid discussions about those type of things.
Killer. Okay, I thought it was very, very early if I had him on.
I have him on because honestly, since 28, he has really like changed a lot of stuff that's happening. But
that's awesome. No, that's great. And that's how many it's been, because I can't remember everybody that's been on. So
yeah. Well, hell, if you do it every Tuesday, how many? That's a long time ago, dude.
Oh, it was. And Sam can tell you, my memory might be one of the worst memories out there. So I'm worried about the future of my memory. But I love it, man. Thank you for that. The one thing I am going to say, I'm going to bring it up now because I'm getting ready to have the first episode. It's the Scrap Solo, and I'm kind of hyping it. Small announcement. The Vigilantes know it's the project I've been working on, but it's a lot like Scrap, but no audience, no questions. It's soloing one topic, and the first 5 minutes of the show is going to be
what are we going to discuss and what's the bumper rails, right? And so if anything comes up along the way, we have that, and I hope it's going to be a really fun discussion. It's going to be completely different than the scrap as far as shotgun and going in different directions. So we'll see. But that's one thing I would like to talk to you about, like just putting down some bumper rails on like certain aspect of fire dynamics.
Yeah, no. So like, honestly, like, I love that, by the way, like breaking it down into smaller sections. And God, I'm trying to think of the name of it off the top of my head. I learned about it in my master's program at NPS. It's a Japanese way of doing PowerPoints, and and it's 20 seconds per slide, and I think it's 20 minutes long. Man, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I wish I could. You could Google it, Japanese PowerPoint stuff. So what they do is you take one topic, and the slides turn every 20 seconds, and so you have to like stay on topic, and you can literally talk about, like, I did one on hose. I did it just on hose lines and the jackets of hose and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, and how hose lines fail, and they fail firefighters. And so that's one that I did on that, but it's very, very focused on, let's just stay right here on this topic.
Yeah.
And what are the challenges that we're trying to look at? I love it, dude. That's a great idea.
That is the scrap solo, and it's going to be recorded and put out and hopefully go real good. So I'm going to invite you to come back and be a guest on the solo. And so I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Coming up next week, speaking of Florida, I don't know if I mentioned I'm in Florida, but Eric Wheaton is coming on the scrap, back on the scrap, and it's been long overdue to come back on the scrap. So he's coming back on the scrap. I kind of, but it's going to be a great one. Eric Wheaton, one of my favorite people. And so that's next week. I'm excited to be back, in the United States. I loved it. It was a great, 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 awesome time, family time, visiting Greece. I understand why world travelers say it's one of their favorite destinations. It was amazing time. The guest hosts, I want to shout out and say to each one, Jeremy Donch, Scott Hewlett, Jake Barnes, thank you so much for taking care of my baby, what I call the scrap. And you guys did an amazing job as the guest host, and I can never thank you enough. But it feels great to be back and interviewing a guest, and it feels great. So thank you, scrappers, vigilantes, everybody. I'm excited to be back, and I'm really excited for everything that's coming up. So we got everything done. We did it, Sean. You absolutely crushed it. We have coming up, mentioned the vigilantes, the after party, the scrap after party. You're invited. You do not have to come, but we roast the guest. And
I'm in. Let's do it.
Well,
what do we have? So like an hour 40, right? I didn't go like Chief Ike. He was 3 hours. Like I didn't go that hardcore. I was nervous.
Very rare. But no, it's phenomenal. You absolutely cry. I really enjoyed it. I feel like we left so much on the table too. So that's what I always love, when I feel like I left so much on the table. All right. Next week, Eric Wheaton, Vigilantes, I love you. We're doing the after party. Sam has already got it set up. I think that's everything. So I'll say this. Sean, thank you for spending your evening with us. Loved it. I'm going to have you back. We're also going to do a solo. Audience, as always, your questions make the scrap what it is. It provides the fuel for us to go chasing down the rabbit trails and sending our guests off on all sorts of directions. And you guys are what make the scrap magical, showing up each and every week live. It would not exist without you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you all. And with all that being said, I will see you in the after party. I hope the tones stay silent unless it is burning. This job will never be safe. So stay smart out there.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.